South Today bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Tonight on the South Today, a truck crashing into a power pole leaves more than 1,000 Dunedin households without electricity. NZ Post is ramping up its courier operations, delivering more parcels as the festive season approaches. And Dunedin's fashion students will see their designs hit the catwalk as part of an annual Polytech showcase. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. Sparks were flying in Green Island yesterday afternoon after a vehicle crash caused havoc for residents. More than 1,000 households were left without power after a large truck took out a power pole. But the response of one witness may have saved the driver's life.
Power lines sprawled across the street after one wrong turn left Green Island in the dark. Large parts of the Dunedin suburb were left without power for around 3 hours after a truck crashed into a power pole on Main South Road at around 3:15 on Thursday afternoon. Witness Warren Gray says he saw the truck cutting the corner a little too close before striking the pole. That sent sparks flying as power lines were ripped down. He then rushed over to speak to the driver.
Ran down and told him to stay in his truck because when you see the size of the cable sitting on his truck, not a good idea to try and get out of it.
Luckily, no one was injured in the accident, but police closed off the road and put a diversion in place. Electricity operator Delta responded quickly to the situation, isolating power in the surrounding area so the clean-up operation could begin.
Culled the area very quickly. They've turned everything off. I'm led to believe that from here for about 5 blocks south of the accident's all just dead. So yeah, they've done very well there.
Aurora Energy says around 1,100 homes were left without power following the crash, but electricity was restored to nearly all customers by 6 p.m. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Meanwhile, the sound of a vehicle driving at high speeds could be heard by neighbours before a car careered off a suburban Dunedin street yesterday afternoon. Police responded to a single vehicle crash on the corner of Matthew and Neil Streets in Abbottford on Thursday afternoon. The car had slid onto its side, landing several metres off the road in a bush. The driver, who appeared to be uninjured, was escorted from the scene to an unmarked police car. A resident says that stretch of road is often used by drivers as a racetrack and believes speed limits need to be policed harder there. Police say one person is assisting them with their inquiries into the accident. It's just over 5 weeks until Christmas, and NZ Post is already ramping up its operations for an expected busy present delivery season. The deadline for sending and receiving parcels from most overseas countries is next week, meaning Christmas shopping needs to start early.
A large batch of parcels ready for delivery, and with Christmas fast approaching, NZ Post is expecting parcel deliveries across its network to ramp up by 35% over the next 6 weeks.
Christmas is always a busy time of the year for us. I think last year some numbers we had 2.2 million parcels nationally per week in those couple of weeks before Christmas.
Flavel says deliveries in Christchurch usually averaging around 167,000 per week. But he expects that to rapidly increase to 230,000 parcel deliveries a week over the next month. He says online shopping has significantly increased their delivery volumes, and some of the biggest sale days of the year are still looming.
On the 24th we've got Black Friday, so obviously a lot of online deals along with Cyber Monday, so we see it ramp up from there, and then of course we're into December and people start realising they need to get their parcels to their friends and family for Christmas.
To assist the team with the expected hike in demand, the company's brought in extra resources.
With extra planes, extra trucks, extra staff also, so and extra drivers especially, and a lot of them starting next week.
And it's all going Christchurch. The city's 2 NZ Post courier depots will operate up to 120 courier vans alone.
Getting in early is definitely the best advice. The earlier you get in, the more likelihood that you'll get that parcel safely and securely delivered to your doorstep.
Flavel is recommending that anyone planning to send parcels to their loved ones overseas should tick off their Christmas shopping list and start the process now to avoid disappointment around the big day. In Christchurch, the South today.
It's the end of an era for Southland's most well-known department store. Sale customers are helping staff empty the shelves at H&J Smith as the business closes its doors for good after more than a century. Staff and shoppers are bidding their final farewells to Invercargill's beloved H&J department store, which will close for the last time on Saturday. The closure means the loss of 220 jobs, although around 40 staff have secured new roles with other businesses. The 123-year-old company announced in June that it would close its remaining stores in Invercargill, Gore and Queenstown, blaming the changing face of retail, shopping and supply issues. A farewell celebration was held for staff last week with mixed emotions. Workers were given their redundancy packages and most have the Christmas period to consider their futures. There was disappointment for some Dunedin businesses today who thought Christmas was coming early. Today was expected to be a triple cruise ship day, but forecasts of high winds rained on their parade. Retailers and tourist operators were preparing for the biggest day of the cruise season this year, with around 7,000 cruise ship passengers arriving in Port Chalmers. The largest of those was the 4,000 passenger Ovation of the Seas, which was scheduled to dock this morning. But miserable Dunedin weather forced the large cruise ship to cancel its planned stop, bypassing the city and continuing north due to the forecast afternoon winds. However, the 3,000 passenger Carnival Splendor ship did decide to dock alongside the much smaller 100 passenger National Geographic Orion ship. The journey from concept to catwalk has been a long one for some Dunedin fashion students who are about to take their clothing to the stage at an annual design showcase. The Otago Polytechnic Collection Show is a staple on the Southern fashion calendar, giving the students a chance to show off their creativity and handiwork.
Some cutting-edge designs ready to hit the catwalk. Fashion students from Otago Polytech are preparing to showcase their creations to the public in the 2023 Collections Catwalk Show on Friday night. The annual event features the final designs from graduating students alongside work from first and second year designers.
I design pieces that can be a great addition to a wardrobe that can just dress anything up and really add that personality and flavour. And a huge thing for me is bringing joy to fashion.
There'll be a wide range of styles on display at the show, with student Molly Marsh looking forward to seeing the reaction to her collection, My Sparkle.
It's embedded in nostalgia, but in a kind of humble upbringing, saturated in pink, daisies, female role models, and unconditional love, really.
And some students already have big plans for their future careers as they prepare to work in the New Zealand fashion industry.
I would love to go and work for a designer that specialises in plus size and needs that kind of right-hand person just to learn as much as I can and then eventually take my own label out there.
The Collections fashion show hits the catwalk at 7:30 on Friday at Otago Polytech, showcasing local student talent in a night of glitz, colour and glamour in Dunedin, the South today.
And you can check out the full range of garments on show from this year's students. You can view the Collections 23 film online at odt.co.nz. We'll also be screening both the showcase film and the catwalk show here on Channel 39 in early December. Whai Akane still to come on the South today. A story of couch to master CrossFit athlete at age 69, and the world of hobbies and gaming shift gears in South Dunedin.
Such a sweet girl. What are you dreaming about?
Just music.
The Power of Dreams by Honda.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
My mate John's here to spice up your bedroom. He's taken 25% off beds. Plus, don't pay a cent till 2025. John's the mattress master.
And my mate John.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. If you're sitting on the sofa watching this, well, here's a story that might get you inspired to get active. 69-year-old Queenstown lady Anne Oliver only took up fitness 5 years ago, but is now competing against the top master crossfitters in the country.
Anne Oliver could be Queenstown's fittest grandma. The 69-year-old training hard after returning from last month's Australasian Master Leagues Games in Rotorua. She was inspired to compete in the big event after taking part in the Fittest Mum competition, qualifying in the top 20 to be able to compete at the Masters League. She was up against 13 other women in the 65+ category, where she believes she was the oldest, returning home with a second place finish across the 12 disciplines.
30 snatches and 30 cleans, so you're lifting that bar with weight on for 60 times. Plus a run, a shuttle run, and a crab crawl.
Oliver entered a gym for the first time in her retirement after a tragic situation motivated her to stay on top of her fitness.
Yes, after my husband passed away of a heart attack, I decided the kids needed someone to be a grandmother. And so at 64 years age, I walked into a gym in Melbourne with my daughter.
She says the atmosphere and camaraderie is what drew her in and keeps her going back, and she plans to keep it up as long as her body lets her. In Queenstown, the South Today.
The world of hobbies and gaming will be coming to life in Dunedin tonight as the doors to a new trading card shop open to the public. Generations of tabletop wargaming fans are expected to check out the opening weekend, with the store choosing a very visible site.
Setting up the final pieces of this tabletop board as staff at new Dunedin trading card store Hobby Lords prepare for their opening event at their new site. It's aiming to be a community hub for gaming enthusiasts, with players of all ages invited to the shop's relaunch event on Friday night after moving from inside the South City Mall. Hobby Lords director Liam O'Neill says it's taken a year and a half of planning, but was grateful for the help of some regular customers.
Just on Monday, we had 4 staff in here helping move, and then we had about 14, 15 people show up, just regulars, people, part of the community that came in just to help us move, to unpack, to clean up.
O'Neill says the Tabletop Trading Cards new store on King Edward Street can host around 70 players, which should make it a great location for future events. And while the games are for fun, he believes some can actually help children who've fallen a little behind in school with their literacy and numeracy skills.
A lot of the games have math and reading. Kids get really engaged in that. When it's Pokemon, and it's a big fad around town, they get super engaged, and the feedback we get is that the parents love it just because the kids are just, within a month or two, they're caught up.
O'Neill was promising prizes and giveaways of rare items at the launch event and is keen to give back to the community that supported the team through their journey. In Dunedin, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. A large truck crashed into a power pole in Green Island, forcing electricity outages for more than 1,000 homes. NZ Post's couriers are ready for a busy period of parcel deliveries as the Christmas season approaches. And fashion students from Otago Polytech see their creative garments modelled on the catwalk as part of this year's graduate showcase. And now we'll look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome back the Deputy Editor, Debbie Porteous. Hello, Debbie.
Hi, Hannah.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
That's good. Thank you for coming over this evening. What can we expect to read in your weekend paper?
Well, tomorrow we've got lots of stories on this developing brouhaha between cycle enthusiasts and train enthusiasts about what's going to happen, the future of the Taieri Gorge Railway. Not everyone agrees on how that should be used, obviously. We've got some news about the injuries that get caused to people who work at roadwork site. So apparently quite a few people, and some people are even dying, quite a few people dying each year from getting hit by stones flicked up by drivers speeding through roadwork site.
Okay.
So that's no good. And we've got a story about the difficulty of getting rental properties in Dunedin. Apparently Queenstowns not the only place where it's just really almost impossible to find something at the minute. So we've got one woman and her partner who have looked at more than 50 properties in the last month and missed out on all of them just because they're being snapped up that quick.
Yeah.
So we have those stories, and we've got a bit more on the non-arrival of the Ovation of the Seas, which is that giant 4,000 passenger cruise ship which couldn't quite get up the harbour this morning because of the wind.
Yeah, it's a loss for the businesses, but
yeah,
we look forward to reading all those stories and more on the weekend paper. Thank you, Debbie.
Thanks, Hannah.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, and a weak cold front will bring southwesterlies and showers to the west coast tomorrow, but it's mostly fine in Otago with milder northwesterly airflow. Heading to the top of the South Island, northerlies and showers with 18 in Nelson tomorrow, 19 in Fine and Greymouth, while Christchurch gets light northeasterlies and a clear 18 degrees. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, pretty straightforward through here. It's looking fine and warm with 18 degree highs and light winds in Ashburton, Timaru and Oamaru. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, into the 20s as we jump over here with light northwest breezes and clear skies. So expect 20 in Queenstown and up to 21 in both Wanaka and Alexandra. Heading further south, a southwesterly change mixes things up a bit through here with late showers after a 15 degree high in Gore and 16 in Balclutha and the Catlins. Across to Invercargill, fine and down to 8 tonight. Into the weekend, tomorrow's cloudy with morning showers and a fresh 14 degree high. Then Sunday is sunny with westerlies and up to 16 at its warmest. And finally heading to Dunedin, fine tonight with southwesterlies and down to 6. Saturday is looking sunny and warm with 19 degrees, but Sunday the cloud will roll in and thicken up with 15 expected as the day's high. And that's the news this Friday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand, or follow us on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again next week. Mā te wā.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.
The South Today Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.